The Rockstall of Valkyries. If the Council of Eight are reunited, perhaps she will answer our call.
Council of Eight. Looks like this was our last one.
Aye, lad. On to the Rookstall of Valkyries then. If you remember, it's next to the two oarsmen statues on the path we took to Thamur's chisel.
This queen of yours, she is strong, yes? Stronger than these other Valkyries we have faced.
That's putting it mildly, brother.
Then we must prepare ourselves.
Indeed. Now, for anyone who's ever undertaken the challenge of fighting Sigrun, the queen of the Valkyries, or I guess in this case, technically the acting queen of the Valkyries, you'll come to know that it's actually probably one of the most annoying, difficult fights in video game history. Even on easy mode, people struggle who are extremely adept at the game, and that's because the queen inhabits the skills of every Valkyrie that we have faced thus far, but on top of that, she is significantly more powerful, and I suspect she actually probably has all of their health combined too. It is an extremely long-winded fight. I have done it only once, and I'm not proud to say, but I kind of cheesed it, and I kind of had to, for all intents and purposes. We'll get a little bit more into that later, but first, let's go ahead and get ourselves a little bit reacquainted with Atreus and Troy Baker, because we are going to definitely need to stop by Brock and Sindri's before heading over there. So,
Oh, come on! You're fine! Rat-a-tat-tat, save the day! Again.
damn straight he does. Whew. So I'm a little nervous. This definitely has the potential to take a really long time as well, and even if you have beaten the game multiple times and you have all of the Zeus armor, all of the best talismans, all of that, it still more or less comes down to luck and getting really good attack patterns, because not only is she also extremely erratic and terrible at everything, it really is just kind of banging your head against it until you can finally win. And this is one of the few circumstances where I think it's actually in our best interest to grab the Berserker Resurrection Stone. So we'll definitely be doing that, but we're also going to be making some adjustments to our armor loadout. And this is something I've been trying to consider on and off for the past couple hours. I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be the right way, but it's going to be one that I'm familiar with. So we did get a new axe pommel, and it is Valkyrie's Might. Now, we're not ever going to use the Executioner Glaive, so I'm not going to worry about it, but we are going to craft a new type of armor. No, it's not Ares. No, it's not God of War. Instead, we're going to enlist in the help of our dear friend, Sindri. And I think this is going to help offset all of the stuff that comes with wearing the Zeus armor. So we'll go ahead and put that on, and we are going to upgrade it to its full potential. So let's start by doing that. And all transparency aside, I did have to reload a save that involved me not wasting all of my smoldering ember on runics that I will never end up using. So we have all of that back, and we're able to fully upgrade our Royal Dwarven Breastplate. And this is definitely going to work out for us. But on top of that, there's a couple more things that I would like to do, namely with the Talisman of Shattered Gauntlet of Ages. So it's finally time for us to go ahead and get this fully upgraded. Not that we're going to use it during the fight, no. This is for right after. We're going to go ahead and make sure all that is used. Luckily, we have all of the equipment needed for that, and the money. But on top of that, the Amulet of Kvaser. A last second dodge activates Realm Shift, and if we get lucky, this might actually end up working out in our favor. But we're not going to equip it in the form of a talisman. Instead, with it fully upgraded, we will be able to transform it into an enchantment that we can have that effect on at the cost of one of our current ones. So, with that fully upgraded, let's go ahead and purchase that enchantment. The perfect mark of Kvaser. So, there it is, baby. Ooh, and I'm hoping that'll get us out of a couple of tricky spots. Now, for the Resurrection Stone, Berserker is the way to go. Just because if we're going to be dying in one hit anyways, we might as well just wear it, you know. And with that, let's see. I think we're more or less done. We could buy our Frozen Flame, I guess. There we go. I got 2 of them now. Perfect. And amongst other things, I think that is it. That is the last of everything that I plan on wearing and doing. Everything has been upgraded to its fullest potential. Except for, I guess, if we want to. Grips of Forgotten Flame. Let's do that. There we go. Yeah, any little bit will count. And I don't know that any of this other stuff is gonna help. But we're just gonna have to basically rely on luck. Yeah, Mistborn isn't gonna help. Ugh. Power of the Valkyrie might be pretty good too, but I think we already will have something on that.
Right. Lots of luck.
Indeed. Okay. Give it to me, Atreus.
Have you no respect for my time?
Thank you. And with that, let's go ahead and make sure we actually have everything equipped. So I did stick with Wrath of the Frost Giant and Blessings of the Frost, which means that both of those shards that I have equipped will definitely help out. So let's go ahead and switch everything on over to here. And just as a quick look at all of my perks, all of my enchantments. Heart of Anaheim plus, very good. Tier Shard plus, good for stats. And Inlaid Crest of Triumph. Protective Barrier is going to help quite a bit in this fight, I think. On top of that, Polished Crest of Strength, so Health Burst, just in case. Duration of the Wrath Frost Giant Ancient is increased, and Blessing cooldown. So on top of that, I need to stop pressing X. Nemean Crush is increased. More defense and cooldown. Now, what we're gonna switch for the Kvaser is, let's go with probably maybe it's this one, strength and cooldown. I don't know if I like that all that much. I do got to get it in there at some point. Yeah, we'll maybe do this one, defense and cooldown, because it's only 4 cooldown. But the perks that we get out of this, I think, is going to definitely make up for it. So 8 defense and 18 vitality. Probably not going to help in the long run, but we'll go for it. And as far as our Talisman is concerned, the Shattered Gauntlet of Ages, we're going to equip a couple of things to that. And if, animations, man. Oh, I guess I can't go to my sockets unless it's equipped. Okay, couple of things to put on here that we really would need to put on there. Asgard's Shard of Existence. We could also put in Leviathan's Eye, or I guess Envari's Soul. And the last one will remain a secret until after we fight the boss and hopefully win. So with that, Talisman of the Realms, so that we can summon a Realm Shift. And just because it's probably going to be a little bit easier, let's turn everything on as normal. Or I guess, you know what? Except for Compass. I'll do Compass Touch. Let's make our way to the fight in the Council of Valkyries. And for the most part, when I was replaying through this on New Game Plus, I did not take the time to visit this. So I couldn't teleport there, even if I wanted to, which is kind of a shame.
Follow me, Atreus.
But that's okay. So, I'll probably have to step into the Realm Tear anyways, or not the Realm Tear, the Mystic Gateway, so that I can heal my health. But I've noticed that sometimes it actually will reduce my rage for some reason, so we'll see how that goes. But for now, it's probably going to be story time for the ages. Right? Right in the mirror. That's what I'm thinking.
Mimir, I still don't get why you ever wanted to work for Odin.
Back then, I was young enough to still be ambitious. The Aesir gods were as powerful a force as I'd come across, but they clearly lacked for strategy, focus, and sage counsel. This could I faithfully provide. And so, a stranger from a far-off island found himself with Odin's ear, trusted as he trusted no one but himself. And with that kind of power, laddie, I must confess, there are perks.
Yeah, but he's Odin.
I never claimed to be perfect, laddie, only clever. And often too clever by half.
So what'd you do to get Odin so mad at you?
Well, for a long time my job was to enable Odin, and I was fucking excellent at it. Gradually, as I grew more to care about people and the world, my job became to contain him, to protect him from himself. By serving peace, I served his interests as well, that's the truth. But he saw it as disloyalty. No longer trusting my motives, but not wishing to part with my brain or tongue, he bound me to a tree and adopted a new pastime of casual torture.
Well, I'm glad we came along to cut off your head.
Aye, lad. Lucky break that was.
Indeed. But with one last look of the lake behind us, let's proceed forward with trepidation and hopefully, our summons coming in nice and clutch there. And make our way up. This has been a hell of a run, you guys, and it's weird to see it come to an end. A little bittersweet, but my doze is getting stuffy, so last call for anything you need to buy here. We can do it with Sindri, because of course we're wearing his armor now. But I'm gonna go ahead and switch. Probably the wolf, I feel like, is probably your strongest bet here, all things considered, because there is that element of stun that is going to help stagger her, and that is really going to be more important because your arrows are completely useless against her. So you just need to focus on that, and then hopefully you'll be good. But we're going to climb up here, hopefully find some health, and be on our way to fighting the boss. So yeah, let's go grab this. Some hack silver we're never gonna need. And yeah, nothing over there. So we have yet to be here with Mimir. So this is where his expertise will come in handy.
This is it, right? The rock skull?
Aye, lad. The Council of Valkyries.
The Valkyries are of Valhalla, are they not?
Glad to see you're paying attention, brother. You are correct. Valhalla, the great hall of the Einherjar, is their home within Asgard. But while there, they are subject to the scrutiny of the All-Father himself. And relations between the Valkyries and Odin were tense during my tenure as his advisor. Well, that's an even longer story, lad. For now, why don't we look around for some clues?
Indeed. So you could come back here at any point in the game and just be putting the helms down, but because this is the end, I decided to keep it all for now. So let's start by placing some of these helms on the throne and learning more about them.
Try placing one of the Valkyrie helms on a throne.
Whoa, you're back. Lemire, who is she?
Gunnar, Mistress of War. After any conflict, big or small, she would be first on the scene, sussing out the worthy spirits for a free trip to Valhalla. A gruesome task, but she took great pride in it.
Any conflict? Impossible.
It's true. She had help from her sisters, of course, but Gunnar was always first to arrive. Her judgment of the fallen was unparalleled, and an invaluable resource to Odin. She was one of his favorites. Ah, Gondul. Beautiful Gondul.
Dan?
Huh?
That's it? Beautiful Gondul? No story or anything?
Oh, sorry, lad. The sight of Gondul always took my breath away. Gondul had a silver tongue, sharp wit, and struck a figure so stunning it literally drove men insane. Odin forbid her from setting foot in Midgard after a time, as insanity is not a welcome trait in Valhalla. This is none other than Geirdriful, the Master of Arms in Valhalla, responsible for arming and training Odin's Einherjar.
Is what?
His army come Ragnarok. The entire reason Valhalla exists, you see. The Einherjar wait in the Great Hall endlessly, feasting, drinking, and fornicating themselves silly. Once Ragnarok begins, Odin calls them into service to fight on his behalf. Geirdriful had her hands full training that lot. This, my friends, is Kara. Now, Valkyries are volatile by nature, but Kara, the lass is wild storm personified.
A wild storm.
Aye, calm and collected. Then the air would shift and the fury of her storm would unleash. It was beautiful in a way, assuming you could find proper shelter. Her tears would cleanse the blood-soaked battlefields. This is Rota, a chooser of the slain.
I thought all the Valkyries did that.
Not exactly, lad. Although that is what they're most famous for, and by far their greatest responsibility. You've seen what happens to the dead without the judgment of the Valkyries.
Hellwalkers.
That's right. Rota, Gunnar, Skuld. Without them to clean up the aftermath of battle, hell overflows with souls meant for Valhalla. A sorry state of affairs. Rota must be beside herself. Ah, and here we have Air, the healer.
A Valkyrie healer? Strange.
Air was strange, as a matter of fact. Very quiet, very calm. Where her sisters were violent rapids, Air was a gentle stream. She healed the wounds of both mortals and gods, and even a certain all-knowing sage who once drank too much and fell off a mountain. Not my proudest moment. Well, well, Hilda, mistress of battle. She and Odin got on quite well, actually. Her and the other Valkyries, not so much. She would spend most of her time here in Midgard observing discord between the living, and sewing some up herself from time to time. She lived for conflict. Some say she was conflict personified. I wonder what will become of her now that she's free. Olrun, once the daughter of a powerful chieftain. She fell defending him during a Reaver attack. Olrun was escorted to Valhalla, where she chose to devote her afterlife to the pursuit of knowledge above all else. Quite unusual behavior amongst the constant drinking and feasting of her fellow Valhallian denizens.
How'd she end up a Valkyrie?
Odin. He saw a kindred spirit in Olrun's single-minded pursuit of knowledge. He appointed her as the Valkyrie's resident historian.
Thank you, friends. You have saved the Valkyries.
Sigrun, how did this happen?
Mimir, is that you? You have been freed, but...
Freedom comes at a price, milady.
You speak truly. Countless winters we served the All-Father. But only through his union to the Queen did we ever taste some measure of freedom.
But aren't you the queen?
There has only been one Queen of the Valkyries, the goddess Freya. When Odin severed her wings, I served in her absence, but it wasn't enough for the All-Father. He used an archaic piece of magic, corrupting my sisters. I tried to contain the damage by imprisoning them in places where they could cause no harm, but soon I lost myself as well.
Sigrun, I'm sorry for being so worthless. I could have done something, or tried at the very least. What will you do now?
I must reunite with my sisters. Together we can restore balance to the realms. You have the eternal blessings of the Valkyries.
Well, we did it, I suppose.